Chris Paul kind enough to join us once again. And Chris, I see you guys up there on the interview area when you grab that box score and you take a look. And you heard what I just said about the assists to turnovers. How much does that impress even you? How satisfying is it that it's 28 without a turnover?
Man, I'm just happy we got the win, Scott. It's a tough place to play, man. I grew up here. This city raised me, man. So I remember how exciting it is in here during the playoffs. And we knew we was down our MVP in Burke, and we all had to step up.
About that, my guy Stanford Steve was mentioning it, right? That's your city back in the day. You know it well. Everybody in the building knows the fourth quarter is your time, and you're going to do your thing, and you do. In the playoffs, what's different about it, Chris, if anything?
Nothing, man. It's just fun. It's fun, man. Nothing like having, extended family here in New Orleans. My brother and my dad sitting there on the baseline as usual. Our team book up every time out telling us what he sees. It's just fun, man, and we're trying to keep it going. Job not done. We got one here. We got to get the next one.
You mentioned no Book. Obviously, he is a significant presence on this team. He is a superstar. I mentioned what Ayton did in this game, particularly after a disappointing output in Game 2. How proud are you about what the young man gave?
Man, that's on me. You know what I mean? That's on me that last game. I got to make sure my big fella get touches. But I credit him for this win. Not only was he making shots and rebounding and playing great defense, but in that fourth quarter, he told me in the timeout, he said, I'm going to get you loose. Shoot the ball. So him just being outspoken like that is big for our team because we need him and we trust him.
It's late in some cities, but it ain't late in New Orleans. You said you got family there, and that's my favorite city in the world to find a meal. Please tell me you're going to go someplace, sit down, and enjoy something spectacular right now.
Ain't nothing like this city, man. They got the French Quarter Fest going on. They got dessert going on. I know you're a big golfer, you know what I mean? So the fact that we get to stay here is nice to get a win.
I bet. Well, let me let you get to your folks. Enjoy your night. Thanks, as always, Chris, for your time. It's appreciated.
Always, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Doris Burke, the legend. So good to talk to you, DB. It's been way too long. And I know what impresses me most about Paul, and it's that he's patient, he waits, and then when it's time, it's his time, and he does his thing. I just wonder, from your vantage point, what impresses you most, Doris, about that?
Can I concur 100%? Because the guy had 7 points in the first half. He made a concerted effort to make sure that DeAndre Ayton got the basketball early. Both he and Monty Williams were frustrated that after an inefficient 10 for 15 in Game 1 where Ayton was dynamite, he took 6 shots the next time out. That's unacceptable. You've got to have better balance. But then second half comes, and all of a sudden Chris Paul, who is one of the best players in the clutch all season long, they've got 6 of the top 7 guys in the clutch, obviously. Devin Booker not here tonight, but Chris Paul in the season plus 115 in the clutch. And to me, Scott, the one thing I would say is I felt like they needed to start to trap him a little bit earlier if they could have, right? There were times where Willie was trying to communicate with his guys, but I thought there were moments tonight, the Jackson Hayes shove, the lack of sort of the trapping of Chris Paul to get the ball out of his hands earlier because he commanded completely that fourth quarter.
Without Booker, and they're not going to have him in their next game either, having just lost at home against the Pelicans team, and I mentioned it earlier, they're flashing. They're showing what they are hoping to become, right? And McCollum adds to it for sure. But how significant was it to get home court back immediately, which they do tonight?
Well, I think obviously they are a tremendous team and still a winning basketball team without Devin Booker, but they are not a championship caliber team without Devin Booker. And any series I have to play is going to be a little bit tenuous in my mind. Remember, Devin Booker, his usage percentage is north of 30. I think it's 32%. That's a lot of possessions. They always stagger Chris Paul and Devin Booker. It is very rare for Monty Williams to play minutes throughout the course of the season where either of those two guys is always on the floor commanding the action with the ball in their hands. So you had to get home court. I thought there was massive pressure on the Suns. Leave it to Chris Paul to navigate his team into position to win on the road and then close the deal himself. Listen, this to me was a big-time win by the defending Western Conference champions.
And last one on Ayton, and we heard Paul, he put it on his shoulders, that's on me. Yes and no. I mean, you're a gigantic presence. Demand the ball. Give me the ball. Be vocal about it, right? I feel like this is a night that is in the progression of a career. I don't want to overstate it, but it feels significant, yes?
It feels significant, and I'm just going to further your point a little bit. The last basket he scored was 6:14 in the third quarter, and I know Chris, sort of shouted him out, said, hey, I'm going to get you loose. He sets great on-ball screens. He's now learned how to twist the angle, flip the screen, do all the right things. They went to him twice. He missed 2 chippy, Scott, and then Chris Paul said, okay, he missed his last 2 on a nice, easy duck-in post-up, missed chippy, turnaround, soft jumper, missed. To me, if you're Ayton, do exactly what you said. Hey, Chris, I missed those last 2. I'm going to duck in again. I'm going to get low post position, and I'm going to put this thing in the basket. Come back to me. You've got to want to do that.
Yeah, you got to demand it. We got to demand it. That's interesting. But again, in the fourth, everyone just gets the hell out of Paul's way, and I understand why they do. What a treat it must have been to watch it from where you were, Doris. Great to talk, and I look forward to doing it again throughout the playoffs, okay?
Me too, Scott. Be well.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.